I'm Orm Hansen. If you know me at all, you may know me from my knitting books, which are all about mittens because I'm a total winter fan. This, however, is a wreath that I just finished making, and I'd like to show you how we make Christmas wreaths in Maine. We're making wreaths today. We're going to make them both for ourselves and for sale at our church. And you start out with a ring like this. This is the way it's done in Maine, maybe not everywhere, but you start out with a ring like this, and then you take a long flexible branch like, say, this, and you wind it on, starting with, you start with a wire and you fasten that wire on. The wire is going to be continuous from the beginning to the end of the wreath. No, I can't do it this way. I think the person who started this one might be left-handed. So you just wind and wind until the entire frame, entire ring is covered. You don't particularly want a lot of stuff sticking out at this point. You're making a base. And you don't let that wire get long. The shorter it is in your hand, you're just running the reel around rather than winding wire, although you're actually winding wire. Okay, so this one is covered and ready to go, and then we're going to put a lot of little tips on it, which we're going to cut individually. They look like this. They can come off that piece that you did. It can look like this, and you stack them up 3 by 3. And it can have a cut one, a nasty cut one on the bottom layer, but you don't want that to show. So you put 2 more over top of it. You come down here. This is the sort of branches that we cut off the trees, and you need about 5 pounds to make a medium-sized wreath, about an 18-inch wreath, maybe. And then you cut these little twiggy things off, and that's what you're going to use to make your wreath. So 1, 2, 3. The one on top can be slightly shorter. And now we're going to overlap. This one is going to go with the butt ends inward and overlapping the one before it ever so slightly. Pull up tight, around a second time and pull up tight. And then you need another one, and so forth until you get around to the end. That one went inward, this one goes outward. Now this doesn't look very exciting yet, but when you get around to the end, it'll look terrific. And I'll show you how to deal with the end, which is tricky. I'm about halfway through here, and I thought you'd like to see what it looks like halfway done. You can see I've overlaid them fish scale style all the way up. And I'm going to continue working around this way, going to the right and to the left, or the inside and the outside. To the end here, you have all this coming this way, and pretty soon you're going to be up here. You have to be really careful not to catch these ends into the wire. And when you get really close, you lift this up. Can you get in from this angle? This angle over my shoulder? you lift up the beginning branches, and you can use shorter tips there if you want, but you're going to wire it right into under the beginning. Okay. First, when you think you're done, you hold it up and you hold it away from you and you look at it and say, hey, that looks good. Or you say, ooh, there's a hole there. Then you still have the same wire attached to its reel, and turn the wreath over, and you cut a length about that long, say I'm cutting it, and you're going to, just as if you were ending a thread in sewing, you work it into the wire that you had. I don't know if you can get close enough to see this. Here I've got it turned up like a bent needle, and just slide it under the old wire that you used to wrap and pull it up, and that's fastened. And then you're going to make a loop, so whoever the lucky person is who gets your wreath can hang it up by that loop. Okay, so do you have that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you take the end and you wrap it around your double loop, so it makes it extra strong. And you can, again, a sewing metaphor, you can wrap it around the base a little bit, the way you would sewing on a button. And then just tuck that out of sight, out of mind, right into the wreath itself, so that nobody's going to stick their eye out or their finger with it. And it's gone. And there's the wreath. Ta-da! And here you have the loop, and if you just put that down, you'll never find it again. So you take a piece of brightly colored string or yarn, just loop it through there. So whoever buys the wreath or uses the wreath will not be in doubt as to where the loop is. There it is.